have a few questions. First of all, how much of your staff in Darfur is local versus international staff? And then I know a little bit about the work, the more of the rule of law work in terms of the Darfurian lawyers who are helping rule of law and justice issues. I don't know. I know that's not particularly your portfolio, but I don't know if you could speak a little bit more to that.
What's the first question?
The first question is national versus international staff.
Not quite sure. What do you mean?
Are most of the people who are working for the UNDP office in Darfur Darfurians or Sudanese, or are they Americans or from other countries?
Both.
And the percentage?
There is international staff, there is national staff from Darfur, there is national staff from other parts of Sudan.
And I imagine that's the majority of the staff, right?
From Darfur, yes. And the rule of law program, the lawyers and justice. Yeah, there is one of the programs of the rule of law. There is what we call it legal aid support. That is a group of lawyers providing support to those who are affected by the conflict and they are unable to provide the expenses of which is required by the court or whatsoever. And to me, they are working effectively, but recently they are also targeted. Some of them were targeted by the government, and there is the government are not allowing them working freely.
We have a couple more minutes. Are there any other questions? I would like to, as a wrap-up question, if there are no other questions, just a quick. Kyle's got one more. Okay.
Would touched upon it. I'm just curious how much interaction UNDP has with the current government in Sudan. Like, how do they work together? Because I'm assuming they can't just run free willy-nilly.
The main counterpart for the UNDP in any country is the government. And most of the activities of UNDP is done in coordination and collaboration with the government. To us in Darfur, the level of cooperation with the government is good. It is good cooperation and coordination with the government in implementing all the UNDP activities, especially the recovery one. Because the area of humanitarian, we have no more inputs there. But in the recovery, there is very excellent coordination with the government.
And I would like to, since we have only about 5 more minutes before we have to give away the room, but if you could maybe speak a little bit about the projects that you are working directly on at UNDP, and maybe what some of the impact has been of them on the people of Darfur and Sudan. Currently, what projects have you worked on that you've enjoyed? What have been your favorites?
As a livelihood staff, we have the project have started just before 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a reasonable time to evaluate the impact on the community, and that is only in the area of capacity building and training and supporting the coordination with the government, and it's too early to talk about the impact on the community or whatsoever. This is for the miss currently. Previously we have a lot of inputs.
Previously you had what?
Previously I was worked with UNDP for more than 10 years in one of the rural integrated development projects in Eastern Darfur, and that project it's called Area Development Scheme, which is following the philosophy of the term called bottom-up approach that involves the community in all the project stages from the ideas, the implementation until the monitoring and evaluation. It has implemented a lot of activities in the area of environment, the area of income generating activities, and small scale industries, and that project has spent 10 years. Now the UNDP has pulled out since 2001, but it is still surviving. The community organizations built by UNDP, they are still there, performing their duties and activities, and it has had a huge impact in the community. But this war, as I have said, it has disturbed everything. Hopefully that when peace realized in Darfur, we'll replicate at least that kind of project in other areas of Darfur.
So when you say UNDP has pulled out, it was UNDP had built the capacity and was no longer needed in this community project?
Not exactly. Project is this term project is an activity that have a specific time, fund, and whatsoever. And UNDP has implemented the project during the lifetime of the project, and that project has ended. But it is still sustainable because the community were involved from the beginning. Their institutions were built. They were trained, and they were provided some resources that is still they are doing their work. Hopefully that, as I have said, we will be able to replicate the same experiment in other areas of Darfur, Sudan.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Please, everybody, let's thank Omer thank you so much. And again, he's traveled so far and is about to embark on a very long flight, so we're delighted to have been able to learn from you this afternoon. And we've been videoing it, so we're going to put it up on the Facebook and YouTube site, and on our website, so that people can learn about this, even the people who aren't in Washington who are very interested in the subject. So thank you again, Omer, for traveling all this way and for sharing your knowledge with us.